Welcome to the CMO Spotlight. And today I am here with Lauren Weinberg, who's the Chief Marketing Officer of Square.
It's probably learning to just trust yourself and your intuition. It took me a while to really, and I would say I've taken a lot of just non-traditional paths and have raised my hand and said, hey, I know I haven't done this before, but I'd really like this opportunity. And I wish I would have just been doing that from earlier on and really trusted myself, because I think there's a lot of doubt along the way. And so if anything, I would go back and tell myself just to trust myself a little bit more. I'm really happy with all of the choices that I make. I don't think there's a perfect choice, but I think my path was interesting and I got to learn a lot along the way. And I'm a very curious person who loves to learn. And so raising your hand and saying, hey, can I try this? I think actually is something that has served me really well. And it just took me a while to really build up the confidence to say, I know I've never done this before, but would you consider giving me this role where I get to oversee blah, blah, blah. And I think once you build that trust in the relationship with people, and that's a big thing that happened to me at Yahoo, where the CMO at the time said, yeah, I said, I think I can oversee all of our channel execution and really do it in a way that would improve the results and the way that we're achieving outcomes for the business. And I said, I know that I've never done that before, but would you let me go and run that team? And she said, yes. I have a lot of conviction and I just love having that conviction. And when you really want to do something and finding out, it doesn't mean that I don't hear no, because I hear no all the time. It just means that when I hear no, I'm not stopped in my track and I'm always looking for another way around. Curiosity and courage, and people who are not afraid to challenge the status quo, who are interested in seeing if we can do things a different way, even if things are going well. And then really having that conviction to push back, to challenge the norms. I would say also just problem solving, really thinking about solutions in our space and industry. I mean, the world is changing, consumer preferences, where they spend time, how we measure things, privacy laws, all these things are always changing. So I think as marketers, there's, outside of your regular business challenges, we also are in a landscape that's constantly evolving. And so that really keeps you on your toes. And I think I'm looking for people who are really coming to the table with solutions. And I would say the other thing that I look for, which I hopefully I will explain this well, but it's just people who like to be builders. What I mean by that is people that can come into a situation that maybe isn't perfect, but are excited about the idea of how you can build towards something that's really great for Square and the environment that we're in. I'm really looking for people that can kind of operate up here, but also roll up their sleeves and really dig into the gritty details of things to really kind of work through hard things together and find a way to do things that will uniquely suit Square that maybe isn't the way that you were trained on how to do something. I'm a big reader, and so I sort of pivot between fiction and nonfiction. And whenever I'm reading nonfiction, I really love to just read about stories of incredible business leaders and just learn about the things that they powered through, whether it's Phil Knight or, what I read Onward. And I just love those stories because there's so many challenges and so many roadblocks that were thrown up in front of all of those people. So I'm always really inspired by just how and even just really anyone's story. I just love biographies. I love it all. I love to just learn about how people have kind of approached things in their life. So I get a lot of inspiration from reading. And I also think that, I'm always really inspired by my own team. I try to always hire people who are better than me at something so that I can learn from them. And I hope that they're learning from me too. I think just helping Square navigate COVID, one of the hardest times for me personally, because there was no playbook, and everything happened so fast. And the decisions that we had to make, I felt it was that was a really scary time as a marketing leader, because I was I'm going to make this call and I could be wrong about this, but I think this is the right thing to do. And we can't wait, we have to act now. And I think for us, so 2020 was the year that we said, we're going to go big. We have our first global brand campaign. It's the biggest investment that we're making. We had kind of primed the entire investment community on how our marketing strategy was changing. And I think early on, we had to make a call, not to run that campaign. So our campaign was literally, I think, set to go live the first week of April of 2020. In March, to just pull out of everything that we were supposed to run, which I think was a scary decision in and of itself. And then the second big decision that we made was, should we do something? Do we use this as the moment for our brand to put a spot on TV? We saw a lot of our competitors doing that. And what we decided to do actually was take the money that we had earmarked for marketing and actually reinvest it back into the business and let our customers know that we were going to refund them for their March and April SaaS fees while they were figuring out how to keep their business afloat. And I still to this day will say, I think that's something I'm really proud of, because it wasn't in hindsight, it seems oh yeah, naturally. We were really conflicted about it, and it was a really hard decision. We didn't know if it was going to feel like enough. And I think it felt amazing for a lot of our customers. And we said, we don't want to just say we're in this with you. We actually want to show you that we are in this with you. I do think that message to our customers during that time is something that really changed the relationship that they had with us as a brand. And so I'm still really proud of that and how we handled it. It's probably Michael Jordan. And my son got this Michael Jordan poster for his room with the quote that he had. I mean, he has so many good quotes, but the one that says, some people want it to happen, some wish it will happen, and others make it happen. And I just love that. And I always remind my kids of that. I think everything that you achieve really comes from hard work.